A tragedy in Nova Scotia last week is leading some to call for changes to the services that are available right now in the pandemic when someone calls 911. The story begins with this woman, unconscious. Her husband called for emergency assistance. There he is. They live within sight of a fire department, but first responders at that fire department location were not called to the scene. Let's bring in Brett Ruskin from Halifax, who's going to pick up the story from there. Brett.
Heather, this story is about Kevin George, as you said, but it could be about anyone who is in need of help in a medical emergency here in Nova Scotia. So, as you said, Kevin George went out last week to shovel the deck. He came back in and his wife was unconscious. His wife, April, she has epilepsy and heart disease. And so he got down next to her, and here's his account of what happened next.
Was not getting no response. She was going from warm to cold and turning purpler on me. I cried to 911 for help, and they said help is on the way. It's only minutes away.
Minutes away, but it took 80 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes for paramedics to arrive. Paramedics showed up, police showed up, and by that time, April had died. Now, this delay in getting help to Kevin and his wife was a surprise to him because he lives, a short distance away, just a 2-minute drive from a volunteer fire station. In fact, you can see his house from the volunteer fire station's front walkway, front parking lot. And so he was shocked that it took so long and that this is such a tragic outcome to this failure of this system. And so again, all of this coming just a few days after the couple's 19th wedding anniversary. Heather.
And as I mentioned, this tragedy, Brett, leading to calls for change. And what are officials saying to explain this, or what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, so what happened here? So we have officials saying that there is a difference now since the pandemic as to what kind of calls firefighters can respond to and what kind of calls paramedics can respond to. Firefighters are more limited now since the pandemic as to what kind of calls they get to. In fact, that volunteer fire department didn't even get a call from dispatch that there was, help needed just a short distance away because they don't have the same training and equipment that the paramedics do. And so that's causing a strain on the paramedic service, and it could be leading to tragedies like this. Here is a representative from the Emergency Health Services Union talking about the help that they could receive from firefighters.
If there's a delay in paramedic arrival for any reason whatsoever, the sooner that you can get even basic first aid or basic life support would be beneficial.
And so again, this story is about the strain that's currently on the ambulance and paramedics service, as well as the changes that have been made to policies since the pandemic took effect and came into effect. And so firefighters, officials say that firefighters are currently being trained and given the equipment that they need to be able to respond to the same types of calls that they used to be able to respond to assist paramedics in calls like these. And yesterday, the government of Nova Scotia says that they are committed to, accelerating and to trying to get firefighters trained up as quickly as possible, try to prevent any future tragedies like this one. Heather.
Brett, thank you very much for that reporting. Brett Ruskin is in Halifax.